something came across my board that I was actually quite surprised with, and that was recently a large research firm called this AI stock a buy and a stock to own in 2024. In talking about the AI stocks, a lot of analysts are putting confidence that we're going to see market share that's going to continue to pool into the artificial intelligence sector. And the question is, which stocks still have yet to go through that hyper growth period and basically be leading competitors into the AI industry? Now, if you haven't heard of this stock before, we'll be getting into it here in just a second. Hit the like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, let's get into the video here, talking about the stock that was mentioned and that we have talked about on the channel before. This is C3.ai. And if you guys haven't heard of this stock, this is a SaaS company. This stands for Software as a Service, which they allow clients to basically, they've changed their pricing model. We'll talk about this, but subscribe to their services, and they allow for large rollouts of big AI applications to help improve efficiency, output, and different types of metrics within these clients' businesses. Now, with that being said, from this research firm that put out this call on C3.ai, we saw an immediate 5% gain in terms of trading yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what happens in at the momentum in terms of buying confidence continues to increase for this stock. Now, the reason why this is more speculative in nature is because C3.ai is not yet profitable and is still kind of in that pure play type of atmosphere and also in that type of perspective. Now, with that being said, that does mean that great reward can come with the high risk that is behind C3.ai, and of course, vice versa. So make sure you do a full risk assessment before doing your full research onto this stock. Now, what we see in terms of options is actually, in terms of expirations by the end of this week, a decent amount of call volume. We see even at the 33, the 34, and the 35 strike price, over 10,000 in terms of call volume for expirations by the end of this week. And this is all following lots of articles, and with this research from here, Oppenheimer talking about it put C3.ai on a list of stocks to own in 2024. And immediately the stock grew 3% after climbing up 5% at the end of the day, as Oppenheimer calls C3.ai a buy. Now, what they do say is they call several AI stocks, so we can get into the list in a future video, break down some of the potential large stocks that could have great valuation upgrades in the next year, and arguing that AI infrastructure ARM suppliers are going to do well. That's what Oppenheimer says here. And these are basically which stocks or businesses have the tools and resources to deploy to possible clients that can really be a catalyst for the AI boom, as many businesses will start to incorporate AI into their daily practices. Now, while C3.ai, it actually wasn't among one of Oppenheimer's top picks in 2024, they still call it, and it was name called with this whole sector or this section here, as an AI infrastructure arms supplier. And the question right here is, can C3.ai keep growing higher? And the reason why this is going to be questioned is because what we did see was with the recent financial reports, we saw they delivered a 17% revenue growth, but it continued to report wide losses on the bottom line. And this is why there's a lot of speculation that has been becoming into this stock right here, as basically it did not raise its full year guidance. And with that being said, in C3.ai, it's important to know that this stock has already experienced a large jump on the year, being up over 182%. However, with those recent earning reports, we saw the stock actually fall about 12% after, like I said, we saw the week forward guidance that was released, and they were pertaining, however, that the results were actually better than expected. They reported an earnings per share of 13 cents, which was better than the loss of 18% that Wall Street did give. And revenue totaled in here at 73 million, like I said, up 17% from year over year. So the loss actually was not as bad as Wall Street was predicted. Oppenheimer has recently given this as a kind of a basically putting it on their watch list or as a buying stock for 2024, and we have their revenue that is continuing to increase. So not yet profitable, But C3.ai is remaining on the forefront of a speculative AI stock to possibly consider with a lot of volatility that can be coming forth. And talking about is C3.ai a buy now, I think that's really going to depend on what their company is going to do in terms of being able to improve its guidance and being able to switch things around to become a profitable company down the line. One thing that they have done to try to improve this metric is basically changing their pricing model from a subscription-based model to a consumption-based model. So rather than paying a just base or a flat monthly fee, you will be charged more, or they'll have to pay more depending on the usage that a client will use it. Just kind of like energy or gas that you get on your monthly bill. The more you use it, the more you'll have to pay for it. This can basically allow more revenue to come in for C3.ai and also potential smaller clients to trial it, because then they don't have to be faced with that large flat subscription fee. They can just use it a little bit, and if they like it, they can continue their increased usage. And talking about that with C3.ai, its actual initial stock offering, we saw shares lead back in 2020 from 42 to finish at 92 that day. So considering where C3.ai sits at right now at 32, this is actually decently low than what we've seen in the past. And if we zoom out on C3.ai and really see where we've seen the stock recently, is that on a 52-week day high, we have seen C3.ai at $48, so right here. So considering that, C3.ai is trading less than that and actually has a lot of consolidations at about the 25. So could we see this momentum go back into this resistance zone that we kind of see here at the 38s in the near future, or could we see a possible correction? However, I think it's interesting that we do see this firm that does push C3.ai to a higher standard. We're going to be keeping this on our list, and also, like I said, talking about the other AI stocks that we do have on our watch list, Palantir included. And with that, one thing that I think is important to understand is that with these AI stocks and with the analysts that are talking about the metrics that we could see in terms of market share coming into the industry next year, it's important to understand the AI bubble that we are already in that there has been a large increase in speculation and buying confidence coming into all the AI stocks across the board. And with that being said, if there can be any large changes in the global macroeconomic perspective, that could have a big impact on more of the speculative stocks and the most volatile stocks, C3.ai included. We could see large corrections that could come at the blink of an eye, but however, if people are taking a long-term growth perspective, these could be great buying points. So it really all depends on what your perspective is. But with Oppenheimer releasing that research report, I think we're going to be really keeping C3.ai at one of the top of our watch lists, giving you guys daily news. And if you want to see more news about C3.ai, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and leave it down in the comments. And also, what's your own opinion? Where do you see C3.ai into the next year? Do you think it's a bullish stock, or do you think it's an AI stock that people should avoid? I want to hear it. Let's start a discussion, and I'll catch you guys later.